It's good peoples. Stone Stanza coming at you, you know. It's another little topic. I promise within this week, I'm going to, start promoting my, but I'm a show instead of, But the little topic, I had a little conversation with a couple people. Then I was just thinking to myself, um, an outsider looking in about, Raymond Washington. I was hearing the good news about a documentary movie was going to come out about him. Uh, my thoughts about it. You don't want to say, everything your thoughts with people. My thoughts about it when I, thought about the whole situation. I heard some, different groups, the opposition, um, how he was negative, uh, how he grew up in an organization that was negative, Tookie, other people, Mac Thomas, and it became negative. You hear other things, and, outside of looking in. And also, just to say, because I heard that, and I'm a big fan of Faison Love too. It's old, but when he talked about the boy Davies, you got to look at it, San Diego, Oakland, even if you're in California, if it ain't South Central, Compton and Watts, really, you know what I mean? And then, yes, Inglewood, Long Beach, in that vicinity right there, everything else, even if it's in Cali, it's still outsiders. So, you can still have outsider within. Believe it. But anyway, back to the Johns, not taking no color, no joint. I'm not no gang, such and such. And it's not for you to know anyway, it's not the but I looked at the history and I look at wow, these kids was young, between the ages of 12 and 15. And coming up under a different code of ethics because of the Black Panther Party. And then, before that, it was always little groups, businessmen, different, groups from down south had their thing going on. It was worldwide. Segregation thing was going on. It was hard. Everybody was trying to fight for their spot in America. But anyway, back to Raymond Washington. I look at a character of a young man and I said, wow, you know what? His thoughts were great. And yeah, he made a mistake, did a little robbery. But in the time, I hear the older people say in the 60s, and I listen to Chuck D, and I also I hear that it was tense. And to come in those times and for a young man to go around and say, if I beat you up one on one, you gotta, coincide with my group, which led to coincide with his group with other groups. And that was, although he made his mistake and, went to jail, and it led to a whole bunch of other young men making the other mistakes too, but other ones didn't get a chance to see the big picture as he saw it. And I guess tried to come out and see the big picture, and that, that was backed up with, I guess, Tookie, when he was trying to get the Crips and Pyrus and Crips and Bloods to, come together, Mexican gangs, that, to be back original. And it also made me think of, like, when they say somebody called him up to the car, he had to know the person. And, just from an outsider looking in sometimes, like, sometimes you can have a better view too. Sometimes inside looking in depends which way you look at it, if you're trying to look at it from a good perspective. But, people had power, was getting knocked out of position, by the one-eye system. And things wasn't in order. So basically, you had those that's within, and you got to know that one-eye system, the feds, the CIA, and all that, They control. Yeah, they control. And they control the streets. They control a lot of things. And if you get out of hand, shit, they can set you up and do what they want because it's about, in their eyes, the laws, the Constitution, the, whatever has to be done. But I look at how, if that is so, how, weak minds participating, not for the cause, helping the police. And it's not just there, it's a shame because, I'm in Jersey. It was an article. I ain't gonna say the gang's name, but I don't know. It could have been publicity, but it was an article, and it was in the North Jersey Times. Certain gang um, asked to ride around with the cops, and the cops let them shoot the opposition. And I don't know if that was for cloud. I don't know if that was real, but I don't know. But it just shows all over. Here you have a young man that made his mistake, and he was still young, and still. And I look at the mind. How some people look at the bad of him. He, is a bully. He like to fist fight. I can't speak just for the outside speaking in. Just them triple and double OGs that was there that know the real deal. But to know that it wasn't supposed to be, it was supposed to be unity. Everybody was supposed to be colorblind. It wasn't supposed to be judgmenting of your skin. Even if you was white or even if you were, it was more in character. And that was great to have power, like that. And then to try to unite. Some people didn't want the unity, I guess, or, however, whatever. I don't know. But, I just look at, it's great though. And maybe people can get a better understanding. These were kids that turned famous, representing, and everybody on the streets ended up years later taking, this example of the West, not just the West of that certain area, in Southern California. But I'm excited to want to watch it. It represents I guess, gangsters all over the world. And I look at even Stanley Tucci when he went down and he had them children's book and he's begging, please don't do this. And he's in his sober mind. And he's vouching for what Raymond Washington stood for also. So some might say the West did it or this, that, blah, blah. But, it just, I don't want to get in all that because it's not my, to get in touch looking at the movie point of view, hip hop, and, you know, much of respect to Raymond Washington, all the ones, even before and after him, that tried to really make a change, that seen the big picture, even in the East Coast over there, Pistol Pete. Everybody can't be a Pistol Pete. Everybody can't be a Raymond. Everybody can't be, and I think that's what messed it up. Everybody wasn't trying to see the big picture. Sometimes, these guys get blamed for, but it's a lot of positive. There's still people that's positive, like Big U and all them. They going, and I'm seeing people, is praising them, and he's showing people he's doing a little real estate thing, and and that's what we seen a little documentary joint from the mentioning of it. But like I said, I just like to talk about the topics. I don't like to get on the gossip and stuff like that, and Stanley Tookie Williams and those different ones weren't on that level. The gossip of what was going on basically was like solutions. But, shout out to Raymond Washington, Washington people that be close to you. But, coming from young kids' perspective, I don't think a lot of people know these were young. That culture is young men. But, it's worldwide, but that certain culture. But to try to come together and bring together, and I think that was awesome because these were kids that was already brung up in the confusion, in the frustration. They was already brung up in the heat, stepping on coals, just the way the times was. But shout out to all those. Even shout out to ones that's coming together. Peace. Stone Stanza.